It's Monday night. Oh yes, it is ridiculously raw. Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer here with you for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Glad to have you with us as always. We got the whole band here tonight. Good old MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk. We also have the Phenom Michael Bullock wrapping up another Raw chat, although it's an abbreviated one. And we also have the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Didi Woodson. Yes, another interesting edition of Monday Night Raw. I can honestly say this was not one of the better shows, if I'm going to be real honest with you. Um, there will be some cutouts, unfortunately, quite a few of them. But you know how we always do it. We're only going to talk about the relevant stuff. And at the start of the show tonight, we had Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose came out, but well, before we get into that, Monday Night Raw was live tonight from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, the home of the NHL's Western Conference champion Nashville Predators, exclusively on the USA Network. And Dean Ambrose was in the ring, and he was calling out Miz and Miz Taraj, and then Seth Rollins came out, and Rollins and Ambrose, had a little verbal exchange, and then eventually Miz Taraj would show up, and then they basically laid them out, and major brouhaha went down, and okay. The Rollins and Ambrose verbal exchange felt a little flatter than expected to start, but Rollins showed good emotion, and that helped draw in the live crowd. The attack by Miz Taraj was well done. Miz took a serious approach, and the trio taking advantage of the numbers game was well done. And the new looks of Dallas and Axel, they're starting to grow on me a little bit. They don't look like they're enhancement talents really anymore. So, especially Bo Dallas. I mean, I love his new looks. So, he's looking more like his brother. But, that's a story for another day. But nonetheless, fine segment here. So, I'll give Rollins credit for showing that emotion. That little exchange with Ambrose kind of felt a little flatter to me, but still fine for what it was. And it was announced that next week on Monday Night Raw, it will be the Miz Taraj against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in a 3-on-2 handicap match. There's still going to be a Shield reunion, people. There still will be. They might be saving it for SummerSlam, though. We'll see. You never know. But that's all I can say on that. So MF, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this opening segment with Ambrose, Rollins, and the Miz Taraj.
I gotta say this was an okay segment. Nothing really amazing to speak home about. It was solid for what it was worth because it basically continued the story. Yes, we're still tinking with the idea of a Shield reunion, which has gotten a lot of the people, even the IWC, very excited about because I think that's one thing that fans have been clamoring for a number of years to at least see Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and yes, even Roman Reigns coming back together, coming into the fold, and being the Shield again. And with everything that's going on, I'm starting to like Anthony. I'm starting to like Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas in their roles in the Miz Taraj because now it's starting to it feels like they're finally relevant. A couple of weeks ago, it didn't feel so much. It kind of felt like it was another campy comedy skit. Now it's starting to come together. Now it's starting to look like, hey, we got ourselves a nice little unit, a good little group that can rival the team of Ambrose and Rollins. Now, what I like is that it looks like they're starting to bury the hatchet. Remember, Ambrose wasn't really so trustworthy of Seth Rollins in the past because, well, Seth did the proverbial backstabbing by putting a chair in the back of both Roman Reigns and him at the time that he became the traitor and joined Triple H and the Authority. Now, he's going to let bygones be bygones for now, and we'll see what happens there. I think Ambrose is a guy who's willing to forgive, but he'll never forget what Seth Rollins did. That's the best way to describe the situation. He forgives him. He just won't forget what he did because it was a very blatant, horrible thing that he did. But for the mere fact, for the sure dislike and disdain, and for the total disgust and whatever for Miz and his crew, at least Dean Ambrose knows that, hey, strength in numbers. I'm probably gonna need help, so I rather go with the devil I know than people I don't know. Rollins already knows Ambrose from the Shield, from NXT days, from FCW days, right into WWE. So there's already that connection. There's already that partnership. He as much as he may not like him, he might not be able to trust him, but in one fountain swoop, he can also say, if I need to go into that rabbit hole, I'd rather have you with me in that rabbit hole than anybody else. So that's, I think, the best way to describe it. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay segment to start off. I mean, it really wasn't anything special. I mean, basically, I mean, I like the nice back and forth with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, of course. Talking about that time when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield and with that chair shot, and then basically this Seth Rollins was giving to basically retaliate, uh, and then the Miztourage comes out and basically puts a beat down on him, and yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, basically with I mean, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I mean, I guess joining the Miz is making them look relevant again. And I mean, before that, they basically were done enhancement talents, and and maybe having them join the Miz is definitely gonna help them out. And Dean Ambrose, I mean, with these beatings he's taking, he's probably like, yeah, I'm gonna need someone to back me up. I mean, yeah, I may not trust Seth Rollins, but I need someone to help me fight the battles against the Miztourage. So, okay segment to start off this edition of Raw. But like I said, once again, nothing really amazing about this segment. So, Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson, I give it to you now.
It was an okay segment. I'm not going to hash too much more on it because y'all pretty much kind of covered it all. But I mean, it was an okay way to start Raw. At least they're working on the storylines and trying to build them to get everybody ready for SummerSlam. So not much more I'm going to say there. So let's move on.
All right, and we're going to move on now to our first match of the night. It was a women's match. It was the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss squaring off against Bayley in a non-title match. And the winner of the match in 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Hello, what's this? It's Bayley. Bayley wins the match. She wins it with the Bayley to belly, or as our good friend Luigi PS3 calls it, the Lovins. So, what else is there to say except MF? Bayley beats Alexa Bliss with the Lovins, as Luigi calls it. So, your thoughts on this match?
Can we say now triple threat at SummerSlam? I mean, come on. Sasha, now Bayley. You got yourself at least a triple threat. I know there's rumors about a possible fatal four-way. Just throw in Nia Jax, but Sasha got a victory, or she never really lost her opportunity at the title for SummerSlam because of the fact that Alexa Bliss intentionally got counted out. So Sasha already got an opportunity at the belt. Now, with the Lovins victory, Bayley now has put herself right back into the mix for the women's title on Monday Night Raw. So all of a sudden, what was a very stale storyline, now it's gotten really interesting, especially on Monday Night Raw. We got ourselves, at least for now, a possible triple threat. Even though I think the match was okay, I'll give it like maybe 1.5 to 2 stars because the time and the length wasn't really that long. But it was good for what it was worth because there was enough action and it kind of pleased me a little bit. But I like the ending. I like the victory for Bayley, and yes, all the Bayley people, all the hugger section are all hugging tonight because they're all happy for Bayley's win. So yes, you all gonna get the lovins like Luigi. We love you, Luge. And the thing is this: now you got to start thinking about Brooklyn and the Barclays and the hottest night of the summer in SummerSlam, which is literally now 1 month from now. You got to sell a possible triple threat. For all the reasons why I just said, the only way we get a Fatal 4 is some way, somehow, Nia has to get hot. She needs to win a match, or something's going to have to happen where maybe she beats Sasha, she beats Bayley, and then that might propel her to say, hey, I deserve a shot. I've beat the 2 women that you couldn't beat, Alexa Bliss, and I deserve an opportunity. Now, I don't think Alexa would want to mess with Nia Jax. She might say, fine, whatever, I'll deal with Bayley because I already beat her. She didn't really beat Sasha. She got deliberately counted out, so that's not done yet. And quite frankly, does anybody want to mess with Nia Jax? I don't think so. So let's see what happens. This has gotten very interesting, and I'm a little compelled to see what they're going to do with this storyline. I think it's going to be interesting to watch, interesting to see. It's just, how are we going to get there is the big question. If they do it right, you're going to have us all happy. We're going to applaud. It's going to be amazing. And trust me, I hope the Raw writers, and I mean the Raw guys, does this justice because they were responsible for one of the worst storylines ever, and they darn near crippled the women's division, and we all went off on them once before. You got something good. You got momentum. Please, for the love of God, do not screw this up. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2 to maybe 2.25 stars. Is my rating on the match. I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, yeah, the time really wasn't that long. I thought it was just a little too short for my liking, but in the time we got, I thought the action was good. I mean, yeah, you first had Nia Jax basically coming out and supporting Alexa Bliss, and then just when Nia gets involved, Sasha Banks tries to come to Bayley's aid, and yeah, and Bayley hits the Bayley to belly, gets the win, and she just puts herself back in contention for the Raw Women's title. And of course, later on in the night, both of them go into General Manager Kurt Angle's locker room and basically said that they were arguing about who should be the one to get the shot at Alexa Bliss's title. So Kurt Angle's like, all right, next week we're going to have a match between the 2 of you, and the winner of that match will go on to face Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam. So I don't know. I mean, could be triple threat, or I think it could be a fatal 4-way. I mean, maybe these two facing each other next week, and just as it happens, Nia Jax will probably interfere and beat up both of them, and then that's when I think it could eventually turn to a fatal 4-way. I mean, that's how I see it happening. But how it all breaks down next week. So, two and a quarter stars is my rating. Dee Woodson, your thoughts on it, and what do you think could possibly go down for SummerSlam?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 to maybe 2.5. This is exactly what Bayley needed. To show a little aggression, try to get herself, back into the picture, but not show herself as weak as what they had done before, when they were leading up to that kendo stick match where they just pretty much blew it. But we've got the momentum going the right direction. We need to keep it going that way, and depending upon what happens next week, we could possibly see, a Fatal 4 coming up for the pay-per-view, or all three of them fighting for number one contender on another Raw leading up to it. We don't know yet, but we'll see what happens. Congratulations to Bayley. Glad to see Sasha come out to even the score and not let, Nia, completely ruin the match. So not much more I have to say on that. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 2 stars for me. Okay match overall as they heat Bayley back up for a possible multi-woman match at SummerSlam. And Bayley showed more aggression there, which was very much needed. And I was more than happy about that. And and I still think it's going to be a 4-way match with these 4 at SummerSlam. I mean, I've been annoyed in the past by Sasha coming to the defense of Bayley too often, but this was a logical spot for that to happen. So that's really all I can say there. So about 2 to 2.5. That's about right. So all right. Now we're gonna get into some cutouts here. Unfortunately, cruiserweight tag team match. We had Mustafa Ali and Michael Bullock's guy Jack Gallagher going up against the Brian Kendrick and Drew Gulak. Ali and Gallagher win the match 2 minutes and 20 seconds after Mustafa Ali hit that insane 450 splash for the win. The hype for 205 Live, it was better than usual, but the short length of the bout made it difficult to really invest in any of these guys, honestly. And this was, let me see, I believe this was no rating to a dud, I believe. Is that what I have here? Yes, no rating to a dud, of course. So, I mean, I get not wanting to give too much away, but they didn't have a chance to make the audience care. I mean, it was nothing but filler, and it in no way helped the cruiserweights or would make people want to watch the show. They cared so little about the cruiserweights that they skipped the purple tape, likely to save money. And I don't know. So that's all I can say on that. So we're just gonna move on. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. It was all right. We had Enzo Amore show up. Enzo Amore, he cuts a promo, and then he gets interrupted by Big Cass, and then the Big Show shows up, and apparently we were supposed to have a match with the Big Show against Big Cass, but it never got off the ground as they just, they brawled and the whole 9 yards. So, Michael Bullock, I believe we start this with you here. It's one of our 2-for-1 deals. So, Enzo's promo interrupted by Cass and Show, and then the brawl between Cass and Show. I mean, what did you make of it?
I mean, I thought the segment was okay for what it was. I mean, of course, Enzo, continued to talk about Big Cass and everything else, and then basically Big Cass interrupts and basically talks about Enzo being a loudmouth and all that, and then it was supposed to be, like you said, not Enzo, Big Cass against the Big Show, but it never really got off the ground because the two of them were basically just beating the crap out of each other, and And this time around, Big Cass basically gets the upper hand on the Big Show, and then lays a boot out to Enzo Amore. So yeah, eventually, I mean, we're gonna get the Big Cass and the Big Show. When will it happen? Could it be on a future episode of Raw? Could it be at SummerSlam? I really don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, but on this night, Big Cass definitely ruled over both Enzo Amore and the Big Show. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, it was a for the segment in a whole, which would include the match. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't anything to write home about. I mean, you had the normal stick from Enzo, very entertaining, but still, not. I don't think he had all his thoughts together. He was kind of all over the place. But the brawl or beatdown, as you want to call it. I mean, it looked like it was going to be, all Big Show there for a little bit, but the younger competitor came out on top, and of course he took down Big Show and Enzo. So, okay segment. Nothing really for me super to write home about. But it is what it is. So, Florio, what's yours?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Enzo Amore is entertaining, but I agree with you, Didi. He fell all over the place there. He's good, but it wasn't so good that he got his quote unquote heat back after those repeated ass whoopings. But it just never connected, with me, and it was basically a lot of noise. But Cass and Show, I mean, that was far from a great brawl, but it was better than doing the match here, as it needs more build, and Cass really needed to get one up on Big Show and stand tall, and that's what happened here. And also Big Cass may want to consider running for the exits, as Floyd Mayweather did when he broke Big Show's nose back at No Way Out 2008. And by the way, that big boot on Enzo looked pretty weak with Enzo ducking to avoid it. So, okay segment here. I mean, nothing really to write home about, like Dee Dee said. So, but at least it's storyline progression, and it's continuing the build for Big Show and Big Cass, and that I think we can all agree that that's going to go down at SummerSlam. So, MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, decent enough. Nothing to really write home about here. Wish the segment would have been a little better, a little more stronger. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and let's just move on.
Alrighty. All right. Then we had another match. Finn Balor against Elias Sampson. Finn Balor wins the match via disqualification. Between 5 minutes and 5 seconds to 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, this is one of those I'm not sure things, so I'm going to leave it up to my panel here. If you want to talk about this, we'll do it. If you don't want, if you want to skip it, it's okay. I just want to be sure before I do anything else. So, all right, MF says skip. Yeah, Dee says skip. Yep, I'm gonna go with the majority here.
Skip.
Move on. All right. I'll just take it for a spin here. I'll give it 2 stars. Balor got busted open a bit by the guitar. This was okay, not bad, but it just felt lifeless, no sense of urgency. The feud must continue, and well, I guess, and then Bray Wyatt shows up. So, well, next week on Monday Night Raw, it was announced that Finn Balor will face Elias Sampson in a no disqualification match, and I'm sure we're going to get into that next week. At least, I don't think that's going to be a cutout at all whatsoever. I hope I'm right about that. And Bray Wyatt showed up, so who knows? Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, SummerSlam. Derek Ferrera thinks so. So we'll see what happens. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right. Then we had another cutout. Akira Tozawa against Arya Daivari. Arya Daivari wins the match via referee stoppage. Wow, that's rare. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. This is another cutout here. Let me see. Just give me a minute. Yeah, this was no rating to a dud. Tozawa, I mean, yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Tozawa was PO'd post match, yelling that he never quit. I have no clue why when they're throwing a monkey wrench and things when the pairing has been working well. It seems like an issue to complicate things just to complicate things, and it's something you do down the line to play up that Titus is using Tozawa and is only in it because he had become a success. I was not a fan of it and felt that it really derailed Tozawa having his ass handed to him by a heatless loser character like Arya Daivari. And please let this be the end of Titus worldwide, at least as far as Tozawa is concerned. I have no idea where the sudden obsession with where this whole thing comes from. I don't know. So we're just gonna move on. Okay. One of the two big reasons for this show tonight. The first of our two huge main event moments here. Kurt Angle, the general manager, the big secret. What's this whole secret that has been going on and on and on for as long as we can remember? Well, he announced that he has a son. And this son is none other than American Alpha member Jason Jordan. And before we give it to Didi Whitson, I just want to let you fine folks know that if you have the WWE Network, they did a big exclusive interview with Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan with Renee Young presiding. So we'll check that out on the network when you get a chance. So Didi Whitson, all this time about this big secret, and Kurt Angle's big secret is Jason Jordan is his quote-unquote son. Okay.
All I can say is this takes me back to when Vince had his illegitimate son and it ended up being a hornswoggle. Those are the memories that came back in my head when they came out with this one. I mean, I don't even see why this was completely relevant other than just to, bring Jason over to Raw. And from what I understand, Gable didn't know anything about what was going on. So I guess we've got the tag team split up now. They basically did this as another way to split another really good tag team up that they really, I don't think, in my opinion, could afford to split up, especially since this was a SmackDown tag team and SmackDown needs all the good tag teams they can get. I just wasn't really impressed with this segment. Completely overdone. If it's true that he is his illegitimate son, great. I'm glad that they both know now and everything, but it wasn't something that needed a whole big special segment for. They didn't need to sit here and play this phone tag or texting stuff and have Corey Graves all mixed up in the middle of it. I mean, it was just, to me, it was a stupid segment, and we just didn't need it. It wasn't that relevant for the show, other than, just saying that he's there now. So I guess we'll just have to see where this leads, as in both Raw and SmackDown, since now we have Gable on SmackDown, Jordan on Raw. So, Fleur, I'll give it to you.
I'll be honest. I like the decision to go with Jordan, as either he or Chad Gable would have been good choices. However, this was too straightforward. It was quick and to the point, and the payoff of the duo embracing and nothing more was uneventful. Of course, there's probably more to the story, but I actually wish they would have been creative in dragging out this segment, perhaps even with a one-off appearance by Dixie Carter or someone else from Kurt Angle's past, even or even Stephanie, or even bring Stephanie back. I don't know, but yeah, this was definitely a colossal letdown, and but then again, I kind of had a feeling this was what was going to happen. I mean, I saw this thing on Sharmel's Twitter about it, and yeah, it was a nothing special segment wise, but it will be interesting to see Jordan and Gable get their shots as singles competitors. And it's just a shame that WWE just loves breaking up tag teams so much right now. First it was Enzo and Cass, and now it's American Alpha. And man, was American Alpha, I mean, so fun to watch. And former NXT tag team champions, SmackDown tag team champions. Ugh. And I know this is not going to make MF very happy, as MF loses another one of his crown jewels from SmackDown Live. And MF, I mean, one of your premier tag teams on SmackDown Live has just been axed. What's going on with these tag teams? I guess they don't want to have a tag team division anymore?
I don't know. First off, I have to say for the record that as far as Jason Jordan goes, I wish him nothing but the best, and I wish him all the luck in the world. I got really nothing else to say, nothing else to believe or anything like that. I just think that when you got everything going on and the whole 9 yards, that I believe it's going to be one of those situations that will be great for his career, but the execution, the way we got there, the whole storyline, it doesn't make any sense. And to rip the American Alphas, split them up, I mean, what in the world is going on? I mean, we just took an absolute we absolutely took a big time with the way that this happened and the whole 9 yards. I mean, I'm so annoyed with this storyline. As a SmackDown guy, I'm absolutely furious right now. Like, as a SmackDown guy, because you splitted up American Alphas on me. And not only that, but you left a major gaping hole in the tag team division. I mean, we really don't have any tag teams on SmackDown now. We got New Day. We got the Usos, who are the reigning champions. There's really nobody else. Who else is there? The Colognes are practically non-existent. They're practically gone. I don't even think we've seen the Ascension in ages. Who else do we got? I'm so annoyed right now with SmackDown, with Monday Night Raw. I'm so annoyed with you guys right now because this storyline doesn't make any sense. I mean, even a lot of people were poking fun at you guys tonight. They were mocking Monday Night Raw, for heaven's sakes, because of this storyline. It just does not make any sense. It doesn't give you any more reason for I don't get it. I don't get it. I wish this was SmackDown Live. I wish this was Cerebral SmackDown, because I probably would be going on a Cerebral Viper rant right now. Mike Bullock, just go. Just take it before I really lose it.
Okay, what in the world is this? I agree with everyone. I mean, the American Alpha was a good tag team, and he had to split them up. I just do not. And this line makes absolutely no sense. I mean, and like you said, everybody in the social media is mocking you guys, and I mean, this. I mean, is this what we really need? I mean, come on, WWE. You guys are way better than this, and you've been hyping this whole thing, and this is what we got. No, 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 no. I don't like it. It sucks, and this. WWE. You bunch of idiots. I mean, you hype this whole thing, and this is all we got. I'll tell you what. Whoever was responsible for this whole segment. I mean, yeah, it was probably Vince McDinkleberg and Kevin Bucktooth Beaver Dunn here, and yeah, look at that one. Look at that one right there. I mean, that's an example of some of the things that it's getting poked on tonight. So, yeah, way to go, WWE, you bunch of idiots. And you know what happens when you got a stupid thing like this happening?
What happens?
To the WWE creative team? You just made the list! I'm done. Florio, please take it before I really start to explode.
Well, I've got some good news for you guys. We only have 2 things left on this review here, but luckily both of these were hella fun, and we're gonna regroup here and get into 2 very, very positive matches here. Well, we thought maybe we were gonna get this at SummerSlam, but no, they decided to do it here tonight. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero. They went up against Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, the Revival. And the winners of the match in about 13 minutes and 35 seconds. Or, yeah, between 13 minutes and 35 seconds to an even 14 minutes. The Revival go over on the Hardys. No green beans tonight, friends. Second best fight of the night here. I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. This was a good match. It started a bit slow, but it picked up very nicely, and the final third or so was very good with some quality near falls. The Hardys are certainly a bit slower these days, but it worked well into the pacing of the Revival's heat. It was a huge win for the Revival, and over the past weeks, they have made me interested in the direction of the Raw Tag Team division, as the Hardys take a step back after their run with Sheamus and Cesaro. So, yeah, Monday Night Raw's got more of a tag team division than SmackDown Live. I mean, SmackDown Live, like MF said, only has New Day and Usos. But look who we've got on Raw. We got the Hardys, we got the Revival, we got Sheamus and Cesaro, and we also have the tag team, and we also have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. That's 4 quality tag teams right there. Just hope SmackDown Live gets going when it comes to the tag team division, as they only have 2, but at least the 2 they have are damn entertaining, both of them. Especially after what happened a couple weeks ago with that infamous rap battle. So that's all I can say there. So, but I got a feeling this feud is far from over. But then again, this could lead to some multi-tag team bout at SummerSlam. I got this feeling. So, solid 3 stars, second best fight of the night. So, MF, the Revival wins. So, unfortunately, no green beans. But with the Revival winning, say yeah.
It's tough guy business, boys. You know, there ain't no unicorns, there ain't no pixie dust and all that stuff. It's only broken bones and broken bodies, and that's what the Revival did to the Hardys tonight. Instead of the Hardys talking about deletion and everything else, the Revival basically deleted the broken Hardys tonight. And, you know, can I say it? Yes, 1,000 times yes. just like Corey Graves would do it. Let me tell you guys, I've said it once, I said it again. I'm very high on the Revival. These guys were gonna be the team that I thought that was gonna be the future of Monday Night Raw when they first came out, and they are starting to look like that team. They're starting to gel. They're starting to get together. They're winning the matches that they need to win, and they are doing it in style. They're doing it with they're looking great lately. And when you beat the Hardys, the greatest tag team in WWE history, and probably one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling, and no doubt about it, with the history of Matt and Jeff, or AKA Broken Matt and Brother Nero, when you can get that done, you know, you're basically doing everything right. And I believed it. I said it once. I'm going to say it again. You're looking at future tag team champions on Monday Night Raw. And that is definitely the truth. You know, this is tough guy business, and they're bringing brute strength and toughness to Monday Night Raw. They brought it when they first came out, when they messed with the New Day and didn't care about them. And they're doing it now, taking it on and taking it to, without a doubt, the best tag team on the division right now. Even though Cesaro and Sheamus are the tag team champions, the measuring stick to be legitimate or to become a major player in on Monday Night Raw is when you beat the Hardys. And now that they did it, Anthony, you said it. It's all about tough guy business, man, and they look great. 3 to 3.25 stars, second best fight of the night, no doubt about it. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, 3.25 stars, second best fight of the night. I mean, yeah, the Revival. I mean, they definitely need to be taken serious. I mean, with a win like that over the Hardys, and yeah, it's all about tough guy business and breaking faces, and yeah, that's what the Revival is all about. So, and hopefully they do get that push in that tag team division. So, 3 to 3.25 stars. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
I'll agree with the rating, but for me, this was the fight of the night. For pretty, I don't want to say obvious reasons, but just due to how I thought the main event went. So, yeah, the Hardys have become the new bar for the wrestling tag teams to beat, just because they're old school. They have held a lot of titles and everything, and they're Hall of Fame headed right now. And so if you could beat the old timers here, then you hit the top of the game. And so far we've had at least 3 different teams that have done it. So that the tag team picture on Raw, very strong compared to SmackDown, and let's just hope they can keep building. But it looks like that they're going to keep the Hardys losing until they can bring in the Broken Matt and the Brother Nero, which of course the fans are already eating up and already holding signs up for deletion and obsolete and chanting delete every time Matt hits somebody in the corners or whatever. So I mean, the fans are already there. All they need to do now is wait for the okay to say, okay, you can do these characters. So that's what we're waiting on now for that. So I'm interested to see where this goes. So not much more I had to say. So let's move on.
And now we move on to the other huge main event moment for this week. But at least this one delivered, unlike the other one. Number 1 contenders match. Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, the winner, to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. in between 20 minutes and 23 minutes and 45 seconds, we don't have a number one contender. No contest. And why was it a no contest? Because he came back. Michael Bell, he's ready. Let's get ready for it. It was because of interference by one man, a monster, not just any monster, a monster among men. Braun Strowman. Yes, Braun Strowman, baby. He showed up and he took out both Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. The Gestapo security guards, they couldn't do a damn thing about it. So we don't have a number one contender. But the four of us know something that some of the casual fans may not know. We read these things called dirt sheets, people. And Derek Ferrera's video dirt sheet. That's how we know what the plan is. But before we get into that, MF, Roman, and Samoa Joe, what a match. And even with the Braun Strowman interference, this was still a hell of a fun match.
Yes, it was a hell of a fun match. This was a great match, no doubt about it. But the problem is, we didn't have a finish. We didn't have an ending. There is no conclusion. The fight got thrown out. The first thing that comes to mind is yelling NA, no rating. But I don't think we can do that because we did have a match. We did have a fight. It was long. It was a battle, bruising. Maybe a 3.5 stars. We can go with that. But because we don't have an ending, we did end the fight because the fight got thrown out. Normally, now we resort back to our wrestling form days, and that rule that we have implemented, that if a fight ends in a no contest, the fight automatically goes to an NA, a no rate. And that's why I'm kind of torn. I don't know what to do because it was a great match. It was a solid fight. And as a matter of fact, I'll even agree with D.D. Woodson. Because of the no rating, I can't call this fight of the night. I can't. The last fight that we talked about, the Hardys and the Revival, would get my fight of the night honors because that was at least a victory. We had a winner. With a no finish, I'm torn. This is why I'm kind of like, oh my God, what do I do? Because with the lauded time, with the body of work, with everything that we saw, I would give this easily 3.5 stars. But I can't give it the fight of the night honors, and I can't give it the 3.5 because the monster among men, Braun Strowman, roared his way in, cleaned house, ripped through Roman and through Samoa Joe. And even because of what happened after the fact, like, I could call this segment of the night and give that honor to them, which is, I think, fair, balance, and everything else. But as far as fight of the night honors, I can't do it, Anthony. I can't. I don't see the logic when this was meant to be a number one contenders fight for the Universal title, and the fight got thrown out. The ultimate winner tonight is Paul Heyman and his client, the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. He's the ultimate winner tonight because Braun Strowman just basically wrecked the main event. I hate to say this, but Kurt Angle, you got yourself a decision to make, my friend. What do you do now? Because do you have Roman and Joe go at it again? What are you going to do with Strowman? Because now Strowman is instantly thrown his name into this. So what happens to Strowman? Dare I say it? Do we have a possible fatal four-way for the Universal title at SummerSlam? It's a thought. I have to throw it out there. Do we see the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, versus the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at the Barclays in Brooklyn for SummerSlam, the hottest night of the summer? You have to think about it. You got to think about this long and hard. And no, I'm not following no dirt sheets. I'm not following that. I'm really putting the question out there for all the fans out there tonight. Is that, and to be real honest and brutally honest, is that best for business? Now, as far as Braun Strowman goes, without a doubt, he deserves an opportunity at the Universal Championship. Samoa Joe? He did lose. He got defeated. He was basically destroyed by Brock Lesnar in about 6 minutes. Does he really deserve another shot at the belt? And don't even get me started about Roman Reigns and his prospects at being the Universal Champion. So, if anything, the one guy that I believe truthfully and most deservingly deserves the chance at the belt is the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. The other two, you can go to the wayside or fall back in line for all I care. Just want to give you my 2 cents. Official rating is NA for me. You get a no rating because of the finish. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Boy, Fletcher makes a lot of really good points there, and I have to basically think of it and say, yeah, I have to give that tag team match the fight of the night, and for this main event, I know Florio's going to probably give it a rating, but I'm sorry, Florio. I can't do that. It's an NA for me. I mean, yes, the match was good. Yes, it got me a certain amount of time, but we have to follow the wrestling form rules. If the fight ends in a no contest, this has to automatically be an NA. I'm sorry. I mean, we have to follow those rules. I mean, no matter how good the match is, no matter how long the match is, if it doesn't have a clear winner and it gets thrown out like that, it's an automatic NA. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, and Derek Ferrera, he said that he thinks it's going to be a fatal four-way, but now hearing what Michael Fletcher has to say, Roman Reigns doesn't deserve a shot. Samoa Joe already had his chance and lost. And, that could be a possibility that Braun Strowman faces Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Because, remember, original plans were for Brock Lesnar to defend the Universal title against Braun Strowman at SummerSlam. Who knows? Maybe that's still on the table, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So, Kurt Angle's definitely got a tough decision to make. So, NA for me. D.D. Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, the no contest is pretty much why I did not give this the fight of the night, why I did give it to the Hardys in the Revival match. The match was great. It was going really great until they sent Strowman out there. At the beatdown, great and everything. If they would have finished the match, then maybe I would said, okay, yeah, match of the night. Giving it a high rating. If I was to rate this, I probably would only give it, maybe 2.5 stars. But due to the no contest ruling, I have to go with the guys and say the NA, the no rating. But the match, yeah, it was a real good match. Everything was going good, but I mean, they didn't even ring the bell when Strowman came down there because the first person he hit was Samoa Joe, and right there in front of the ref, and the ref didn't even ring the bell. So, and then he goes after Reigns, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The guys try to, they try to fight him off and everything. And you think they're about to do it, and then Strowman comes back again. So, unless, like I said, with the ladies, unless they, between now and SummerSlam, they decide to have another match for a #1 contender. This could possibly end up in a fatal 4-way for the title, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see whether or not they go the fatal 4-way route, or if they decide, okay, we're going to have another #1 contender. Because, yeah, Strowman, with all the wins and stuff he's done, he deserves to go for the title. And quite frankly, I'm getting tired of seeing Strowman versus Reigns. So, I'm looking for an end to that. And I was kind of hoping, since Reigns was going against Joe, that we had it. But, Strowman, we pretty much knew he was going to come out at some point in this match. I was just hoping more that we'd have an ending before he came out. But it is what it is. So, Florio, I'm going to toss it over to you.
Okay, I'm going to make a decree right here and now. My show, I run the show here. Everybody knows that. So this is what we're going to do. I think we're going to make an exception to the rule here. I know we made the rule that if a fight gets thrown out, no matter how good it is or great it is, it's an automatic NA. I'm done with that. The exception is if the match is great, then we waive the NA rule. That's all I say, and I honestly want to put that into effect right now. I want to say, starting effective immediately, the NA rule is waived. That's all I want to say on that. So I don't care what you guys say. If you want to bash me for this, I don't give a damn. This match was unbelievable, and I'm going against the grain here. Like they used to say on the Ray Combs Family Feud, I'm going on my own here. This was the fight of the night in my eyes. Honest to goodness, it was. This was 3.5 stars for me. I'm waiving the NA rule. I don't give a damn about the NA rule.
Well, I care for it. I care for it.
What, Bullet?
I think in this instance, it has to be from Derek Ferrera, because he's the producer. He runs the show more than anything else. I think for the NA rule to be waived, it has to be from Ferrera. He would have to literally give the okay for this rule to be broken off, because that's the only way this goes. If we can make that exception, then that has to be not only for Ridiculously Raw, that also would have to go for Cerebral Smack Talk as well. It has to be a package deal. It just can't be for one show.
I will message Derek Ferrera right now, and I will get back to you guys on that. So
that's the only way this gets thrown.
Because other than that, we have to stick with the rules. If the fight is not finished, it's an NA.
It's an NA. Okay. I'll go NA. I'll listen to you guys. I'll go NA.
But wait. Hold up. it is your call. I mean, you don't have to go against it. You had the right to say that's 3.5 stars. You got every right to go against the grain. That's fine.
Good.
Like, even for me, I would have called it 3 to 3.5, but I don't think it deserves it because I'm going over the letter of the law that this was a #1 contenders fight to determine the challenger for Brock Lesnar's title, and we didn't get a resolution. That's why I'm yelling NA. I'm not yelling it for the match itself. I'm yelling it for the ending, and that because we don't have a #1 contender.
Okay.
That's where the problem lies. You
That's
can
good.
go wherever you want to go with this, Florio. You want to go 3.5 stars? By all means, my friend. You got every right to say what you're saying. I'm not going to challenge you for that. I respect you for what you're doing. I'm not going to challenge you for that. I don't know why Michael, and even for Bullock, I know he would probably respect your wishes, even though we did make that decree long ago that if a fight does not end, if a fight ends in an does not end properly, then we go with an NA ruling. I'm going to stick with my NA ruling. If you want to go
Me
against
too.
us, by all means.
Yeah, go right ahead. I mean, we're not going to bash you for it.
Oh no.
All right.
We're not going to bash you for it, but we just have to follow the rule.
And I do that, and that's what I do. But this is one time I honestly don't want to do that. I'm like I said, this is my show. I run it the way I want to run it. So, and if I'm gonna get bashed for it, bring it. Come get me. I'm right here. Simple as that. So, I'm gonna be a CM Punk here. I'm gonna break down the damn fourth wall. 3.5 stars is my rating. I don't care what anybody says about it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go on my own, like Ray Combs on Family Feud, like the head of the family would always say. So I'm going on my own, 3.5 stars, and because this match was just so damn good. Even with, yes, it's an NA, I get it, but the match was so damn fun to watch, man. I loved it. Even with the predictable run-in, it was a really enjoyable match. And Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, they've developed a really strong chemistry. And I assume we're going to get maybe Joe and Reigns and Braun in a triple threat match. Or maybe we could still get the 4-way. I mean, Derek Ferrera's reporting a 4-way. So that's all I can say on that. So it's a 3.5 stars. It's my fight of the night. So now we're going to get to our overall review. And I don't remember who starts it. I believe it's Bullock who starts it off. So Michael Bullock, after a few weeks of very good shows, unfortunately, we took a step back this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a step back, and I can only give this a 5.5 out of 10 as my rating for this. As a matter of fact, I'll go somewhere between 5.5. There was just way too many cutouts, and yeah, I mean, I just didn't like the ending to the main event, and don't get me started on that whole Kurt Angle segment there. Yeah, so 5.5 out of 10. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going straight 5. Too many not so great things, not enough good stuff. Like I said, the main event was it was going really great. If I rate just the match, yeah, I'd probably go about 2.5. But if I rate due to the ending, it's an NA. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. I mean, the #1 contender match, you need a finish in, and it seems like we've had too many of these cheap finishes on these shows, and and WWE just gets away with it. Not in my book. I'm going to be a hard nose. I'm going to be a stickler on it. And if you want to continue to give us trash like the Kurt Angle storyline or you know, some of these other things you've put in here that just doesn't make any sense, or taking a match that could have been totally awesome and giving us a cheap finish, you're going to get penalized for it. That's the way it goes. I mean, you wouldn't want to give a person an A paper when they cheat. You know, it's basically how I'm looking at it. I mean, WWE's cheating us out of, you know, some awesome storylines, awesome matches, because for some reason they don't know how to do it with Raw, but they do with SmackDown. And to penalize SmackDown for doing so good, they take the top stars like American Alpha and split them for no reason. I don't see a reason for taking this team and doing that with it. I mean, yeah, okay. He's supposed to be Angle's son. Does that mean you have to put him on Raw? Couldn't you just say that and leave him on SmackDown to keep the team, or bring the whole team over? I mean, come on. Writers, start using your noggin. That's what you got it for. Stop thinking out your rear end and use your brain. God gave you a brain for a reason, people. Use it. We don't sit on our brains. So
yeah, and that's why the writers from Raw suck.
That's why right now, what used to be
they've been too busy thumbing their noses.
That's why right now what used to be the A show has taken a major step back and and in my book has become a D show. They need to really sit down with the talent, with management, with the writers, get everybody together and say, okay, look, this is what we're doing. How do you want your character used on this particular show? And stick with it. Don't start writing something over here and then halfway through it, twist it and change it and throw this little loop into this circle and this little loop into this circle and just screw the whole thing up. Let's get organized. Let's get this fixed to where, okay, you know, we have, you know, let's see, for example here, okay, we have our women's champion, Alexa Bliss. Let's get her a definitive #1 contender, or do like SmackDown did. Let's have our Money in the Bank match. That way we have one person we can fall back on if the #1 contender doesn't work out in the other match. You have something to fall back on. You have a storyline right there that you can work off of. And, you know, as much as I hate the welcoming committee from SmackDown, that storyline, at least it's a storyline and they're staying with it. They're not just coming out here and just, you know, 1 minute having, you know, Bayley being really strong, winning every match. Then you make her look like she's too scared to do anything and have her lose for like a month or two and, you know, just be this little weak, pathetic little girl, and making, you know, Alexa Bliss, which is your champion, look like a total idiot. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're going to turn it around here and we're going to, you know, have Bayley win all these matches over Alexa and make her start looking strong again. Hello. We need to have consistency. You know, like if you've sitting here with a toddler, you have to be consistent with them every time for them to learn. Well, writers, let's go back to preschool and let's be consistent and let's start working on that with our storylines so that we make more sense instead of having, okay, Angle's going to have a legitimate son come out of all these texts that, oh, I'm going to lose my job over this. How are you going to lose your job over having a illegitimate son when you already had this storyline with the chairman of the board that ended up being Hornswoggle, of all people? Nothing is new in wrestling. We all know that. But they always are twisting and turning and rewriting things to make it seem newer. And to this new generation, yes, this is new. But there's better ways of doing it, and there's smarter ways of doing it. So get off your butts, people. Use your brain, not your rear end, and sit here, come up with a better show, come up with storylines that actually work, and stop giving us crap. I'm done. I'm out. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
All right. I don't know how we're gonna follow that, but we're gonna.
Holy moly! All I can say is, damn, Dee, tell us how you really feel.
She just did, Bullock. Let's not ask for an encore.
No, I'm not going to give any on, of course.
Praise God.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't want to have to sit through another one like that.
I feel like she was yelling at us, or she was yelling at her kids. For goodness sakes! Holy goodness.
No, I'm not yelling at you guys. But I am yelling at corporate for WWE, and that's.
I don't blame.
Yeah, and
that's where
she's probably gonna march over to headquarters and
that would be
say,
awful.
and probably say, like, you know what? I don't give a damn if you're gonna have security throw me out for doing something that's right. Go right ahead, because you know what? I'll lawyer up and I'll sue your ass.
Compared to where you guys live from where I live, that would be a lot longer march for me than it would be for you guys.
No, it's not that far for us. I mean, it's only like an hour or so away.
Yeah, and see, I'm in Ohio, so that would be a lot longer of a march.
Yeah, we're in Rhode Island, so we're right there. So.
Yep.
All right, Dee Dee, we'll see you.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Hopefully we'll cool her down because we don't want to get her hot again. So, okay. I'm going to be a little more positive on this, just a little more, not a whole lot more. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. Overall, this show will be remembered for a flat reveal of Jason Jordan and the Kurt Angle mystery. While there's no changing the fan reaction to the initial angle, it'll be interesting to see if they have big plans for this angle going forward. The unfortunate part about the reveal is that they didn't set up anything for us fans to be excited about. Angle said the company is cool with it, and it's not like Jordan has a rival or there's any sign that Jordan is conning Angle. Hopefully they have something beyond the payoff in mind, but there was no sign of that on the network interview either. So, just a little small spoiler alert about the network show. But it was a solid but unspectacular show this week, as they are getting into the build for SummerSlam, and they also set up a match for 205 Live with Akira Tozawa and Arya Daivari, and Finn Balor and Elias Sampson, no DQ, Rollins and Ambrose against Miz Taraj, and Banks and Bayley in the number one contenders match for the Women's Championship for next week. The tag team picture is getting interesting, and we're likely getting Joe Reigns and Braun in the build to SummerSlam. Not bad, but we want more. So 6 out of 10 for me. So MF, wrap up this Raw review, and I'll get ready for my Tony steak here.
I'm going to be very short and sweet and straight to the point. I think this is like a 5.5 out of 10 for all the points, especially the one that Dee Dee Woodson made. Well, I mean, what an epic rant that was. And I think that was in one sense the way I felt about it. There was really nothing more for me to say. That was solid. I liked it. It was amazing. There's really nothing more on that end. And like we said, some of the matches were good, but I wish they delivered it in a better sense, a better anything. But as far as anything else goes, they really had a chance at a good storyline, and that's where it just kind of left us hanging. Nothing more, nothing less. At the end of the day, that's it. So, all right, Florio, go ahead. Tony's take time.
All right. Tony's take time, and well, you know how we do it. 205 Live, Impact Wrestling, and the whole 9 yards. So let's get started with the 205 Live. Excuse me. We had a match: Akira Tozawa against Arya Davari. Tozawa wins the match via DQ in 2 minutes and 16 seconds, mainly because Neville interfered. No rating to a dud. And I'll be honest, I liked it. Evil Neville is the best Neville. He's also rarely lost during his run, so him trying to destroy Tozawa following last Monday night's loss makes complete sense. So that's all I can say there. Rich Swann against Mario Connors. Rich Swann wins in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. 2-star match, solid and fun, with Swann giving Connors a lot. Swann is a great baby face. And then they had Mario Connors against TJP. TJP beat him in 28 seconds. No rating to a dud. Honestly, thought they were going to have TJP lose to have him humiliated for boasting so much on Swann. I like this angle so far, and I feel it has a ton of potential. And then D. Brian Kendrick, there was a segment with him and Jack Gallagher. This Kendrick angle really hasn't done much for me, but if he brings his A game, like in his match with Tozawa for a big match with Gallagher, I'll be great with that. Just don't do an umbrella on a pole match, please. And then the I Quit match, Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar. Cedric Alexander wins it in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Fight of the night, 3 stars. Good match. Cedric won, and we could finally move on. The only thing I didn't like was how Dar was presented in the finish. He was too babyface-like. And if he would have said that he was done with Dar because she had manipulated him into continuing the nonsense with Cedric, it would have worked. But they had him go heavy heel after being brave and having his arm nearly broken. It just didn't play right with me. 7 out of 10 is my rating for it's between 6 3/4 to 7 out of 10. They did a good job continuing the Neville and Tozawa angle with a great beatdown by Neville. Gulak Ali looks to build to a finish next week with a 2 out of 3 falls match. And the Swann TJP angle is interesting as Swann tries to get his friend to be the guy he loves, but there's still a lot of the old TJP there. The Gallagher Kendrick stuff doesn't do much for me, but they finally ended Cedric and Dar. At least I hope so. All things considered, pretty good hour of TV, but nothing truly must see. So 6 3/4 to 7 out of 10 there. Impact Wrestling now. Let's get into this. We started with the Super X Cup. Well, actually, no. We started out with LAX. LAX and Alberto El Patron. This was the segment of the night. It was some good fire in the promo, which played as a good follow-up to the previous week. Lashley Lashley, quote unquote, helping made sense, and that he wasn't so much helping Patron, but was getting revenge on LAX and returning the mutual respect. Super X Cup match, ACH against Andrew Everett. ACH wins the match in 6 minutes and 25 seconds. This was the fight of the night, 3 1/4 stars. Good back and forth sprint here. They delivered a fun outing and they kept the crowd invested. A lot of fun. And I got to consider it a little bit of an upset. I didn't really think ACH was going to beat Andrew Everett, but well, who knows what I know. And then we had Gail Kim. Gail Kim came out and she says that 2017 will be her last year in wrestling and she will retire from the ring. You know, she thanks everybody that she worked with in the past and the fans and everything else. Fine little speech from Kim. I'd say second best segment of the night here. That LAX and Patron segment was just a little better. But I fear that once she's back, the division's going to revolve all around her once again. And that anything they built with Rosemary and Sienna will be forgotten. But we'll see. We'll see. Octagon Cito against Demas. Octagon Cito wins the match in 4 minutes. 2.5-star match. Pretty good and fun little sprint. I'm shocked that Jared and Dutch didn't resort to 1970s minis humor here. With that being said, I didn't find it to be a good use of TV time when so many others struggle for airtime. Moose defending the Impact Grand Championship against Naomichi Marufuji. It ends. Marufuji wins the match via disqualification at 1:31 of the third round after EC3 got involved. 2-star match. The Grand Championship matches continue to be flat and have no excitement to them at all Complete waste of Marufuji's skills, and worse than that, you didn't even get Musa winning over an international star. The only good that came from this was continuing the Moose and EC3 feud that started last week. Trevor Lee against William Weeks. Trevor Lee wins in 1 minute and 20 seconds. No rating to a dud. Worst fight of the night. It was here for the continuation of Trevor Lee and Sanjay Dutt, which they're building to, obviously. Just give me a moment here. All right. I think we had the knockouts fight next, right? Yes. Laurel Van Ness against Ava Story. Laurel Van Ness wins in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. 1.5 stars. Story looked better than in her last appearance, but this was far from good and was only here to continue the angle with Laurel Van Ness and Grado. And then the main event, LAX against Lashley and Alberto El Patron. Lashley and El Patron win the match, 13 minutes and 45 seconds. Second best fight of the night, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match, but I hated the All-Star team beating the tag team champions that they have worked so hard to establish. You have LAX go undefeated, win 2 sets of tag titles, and then burn their first major loss on this. Lashley's motivations worked here. He wanted revenge for last week's attack and realized he had to work with Patron to get it. But once he got his revenge, he decided that he was done being a stand-up guy and walked instead of jumping into a 5-on-2 situation. He likes revenge, but doesn't give a damn about Patron, only about getting another shot at the title. Lashley is so damn good, and I hate that they took the title off of him for the new toy. Especially when that new toy is in big trouble. 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't necessarily bad as much as it felt like another overall flat effort, as the company continues to fail to capitalize on the good that they earned with the Slammiversary, earning many among fans. Super X Cup was easily the best thing on the show. The minis were fine, but felt like time that could have and should have been used on regular roster members. Grand Championship continues to fail to be worked properly. Marufuji was wasted in the format, and while I'm happy EC3 had a direction, EC3 and Moose doesn't exactly thrill me. The rest of the show was sort of there. I hated LAX losing, and the Grado angle does nothing for me. It's not the worst thing they've done, but it's not entertaining at all. So 5.5 out of 10. Coming up Thursday night on Impact Wrestling, Drago against Sammy Guevara in a Super X Cup match. Sienna will go up against Amber Nova. Garza Jr., Laredo Kid, and Octagon Cito against Trevor Lee, Idris Abraham, and Demas 316. Matt Sydal against Loki and El Hijo del Fantasma. The Swole Mates are going to show up for another stupid segment against Adonis and Drake. Skip that. Eli Drake, Eddie Edwards, Ethan Carter III, and Moose in a 4-way. And then LAX, and then the continuation of the LAX Alberto El Patron angle. It gets personal on this show. I'll tell you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So that's it. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Pop Television. And that's it. We're done with Ridiculously Raw for this evening. So we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So Bullock or MF, whoever wants to start off with the shout-outs, it's all yours.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there for making the show as amazing as it is. And, shout out to the super fans. You guys know who you guys are. To my friends in the junior high school days. 2184 crew. Love you guys to death. All right. So the next thing we do, it is Cerebral Smack Talk. So tomorrow night, as always, SmackDown Live. We're going to have the recap on that. We do have a little bit of Ring of Honor. Well, I don't know if there's any Ring of Honor stuff. I know the G1 Classic or the G1 Climax tournament has just begun today. Derek Ferreira has been keeping the tabs on that. So I might jump in. I don't know. That might be Derek's territory. So I might let that be. There was even talk about possibly doing an NXT review. Elizabeth Decker, who's a friend of ours, mentioned about NXT. Normally we don't jump on that. So maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'll think about it tonight. And if I do, then okay. But one thing I need to do, and is a must, tomorrow night on Cerebral Smack Talk, I should say, on a Mikey's Mindset, it is the exclusive, and you're only going to get it on Braves Fan 95. Exclusive preview of the RWA Legacy 10. This is the official preview. You're not going to get it anywhere else in the world. You're going to get it here. All the matches, everything exclusive tomorrow night live at 10:30 Eastern on BrazeFan 95, YouTube.com. We'll catch you there. So long for now. 100 hand pounds. I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
All right. We thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. And of course, shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who support all our shows. Of course, shout outs to all of our super fans out there. You guys know who you are. To all of our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. So, so until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. And enjoy your Tuesday, everyone. So, Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do both. Of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the Woodson family. Matt Ward, Jason Nixon, Boy, Daniel Truff from the UK. Our first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway. Our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Olin, Albertus and Rob Parsons, and of course, Derek Ferreira himself. And yeah, tomorrow night, 10:30, Cerebral Smack Talk and SmackDown Live. I mean, the Punjabi prison's going to be there. And we're also going to have AJ Styles teaming up with Shinsuke Nakamura against Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin. Oh boy, that's going to be something fun. And all the other stuff that MF mentioned. So that's 10:30 tomorrow night. And then 10:30 Friday night. MF, you're running the show because we're not doing Strictly Sports Friday night. We're going to be previewing the SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view Battleground. That will be hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher over on BrazeFan 95. We'll be here, and we'll give you our thoughts and predictions about Battleground. And then Sunday night, it's MF again, as we will have our recap of Battleground. And then next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, and we'll go from there. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, Dee Woodson and Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for Cerebral Smack Talk, keep it watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone says, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.